Hey everybody, welcome back to Horror by the Book with Noel Wing. As I promised a few episodes ago, we were going to have a special guest on, and she's here. She's finally here. This is Lisa. Today we're going to talk about demonic possession and hear Lisa's story. So, stay tuned. Horror by the Book, coming your way. Cue it. Come on, we don't have all day. No patience here. Cue it. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Horror by the Book with Noel Wing. We're going to talk about demonic possession today. And you know, the horror genre is filled with these tropes. You got zombies, vampires, you got the supernatural, and you got slashers, right? Those are the main categories. But there's always the demonic possession and the voodoo and all that kind of good stuff. And it's a huge part of the industry, actually. You look at some of the classic movies, The Exorcist, The Omen. You know, those are all kind of possession kind of films. Very dark, considered icons in the film industry, really. But it's really no joke, because you look back, you know, the Catholic Church did tons and tons of exorcisms back in the day. The Pope's Exorcist came out a few years ago. It was a film starring Russell Crowe. And he was actually, this is based on a true story of a real priest. And they say he'd done 100,000 exorcisms. That seems like an extraordinarily high number to me, but what do I know? I've never done an exorcism, nor have I been possessed. But others have, and they firmly believe in that. And so we're going to hear Lisa's story, and she's got a really good one. So let's turn this over to Lisa. So Lisa, when did it all start, and what were you doing?
Let's see. So I started in Japan. I was living there. I was in my apartment, and I'll never forget the first thing I heard was just, I would hear things like cabinets like opening and shutting, weird banging around that I never heard before. And at first you just kind of brush it off like, yeah, you know, I'm probably just, you know, whatever. But as it progressed, little things, I remember my son's toy. You remember those things that go bing, bang, boom? Yeah. That kids play on?
Xylophone kind of thing?
Yep, that happened.
Yeah.
And I said, oh shit.
That is half terrifying.
It was terrifying.
Another half scary.
Because I looked over and my son was right next to me, so definitely it wasn't him going bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
Because it was in the other room. Yeah.
Wow. So that's the first time you noticed it. That was your first incident.
Almost acceptance. Yep, like something is wrong. Yep, like something is happening.
Okay, so like what was the next thing that happened?
It started to get increasing, like the noises were increasing, things like that. I was on edge a lot. My sleep started to be disturbed. And you have to remember, like, well, you know me, but they don't know me, but I don't like to believe in it. Like, I don't like all that stuff. I thought it was silly. I thought it was all fake. And to this day, I don't even like to think about it. But the first night that it was really bad, I woke up out of my sleep in sweats, and there was this light, like a dark light, but light. I don't know how to explain it. And for some reason, I knew it was like a woman, but there was no woman like shape there.
Ooh.
It was just like this light. And I kept trying to close my eyes and like, you know, open them again. And I thought, I'm dreaming. You know, when you try to wake yourself up out of a dream.
It's not real.
Yeah. But it was like, I could get up, and once I would get up off my bed, it was like this feeling came over me that just froze me. And I couldn't move. It was like,
You couldn't move out of fear because you were like sort of locked up?
I don't know what it was, but it was like I could not move. Because I wanted to get up and see if something changed, if I got up out of bed, if it would go away.
Yeah.
You know? So I would end up just having to close my eyes and just curl up in my bed. And that was the first night, but it progressively got worse to where I was scared to even go to sleep, like, because it was every night I would feel this feeling like something was like in me. And that was like not the first night, but like the second night, the third night. Like it just progressively got more intense. And I would fight it. Like, I don't know how to fight it, but I just would like physically be like trying to fight it. It was like you could really feel something like taking over you.
Wow.
It was insane.
Did you, in fact, as they went on, the days went on after it first started, that the episodes were longer each night? Were they more intense?
More intense. Just more intense.
Just more vivid, if you will.
More vivid, more intense. It was always that same, I want to say woman, because that's what she was. It was a woman. I don't know how I know that.
Interesting. Yeah. So you couldn't see anything physically to say, oh yeah, that's male or female. You just felt it was a woman. Okay.
Yep. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like these things it's like you just know.
Yeah.
And
how did that affect you taking care of your child?
It was terrible.
During that stretch?
I remember one night I woke up from it, and sometimes I think I might have been dreaming. I'm not sure. It's like you couldn't tell the difference anymore. And I had this dream, and it's hard to even say because it's bad. It's like one of those things where I had a dream that my son, who was like a baby at that time, was like a pincushion. He looked like
ooh,
like you would see a pincushion, pins like all over him, and he wasn't like struggling or screaming or anything. He was just laying there, and there was like pins all over him.
Wow.
And because reality was escaping me, and I just wasn't sure what was what. That is the first time I was able to get up out of my bed and actually be able to do movement. Because remember, I'd be like frozen, like I couldn't get up out of bed. But once my child, I thought, was involved, something just came over me and I fought it to the core.
Yeah.
I mean, to the core. And I got up, went over to his room, and he was safe sleeping. But that, I think, was the moment that I was like, I need to get help. Because I didn't want to tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
What was it affecting any other parts of your day? Not just tonight?
People were telling me, my close, friends, and even I remember talking to my mom on the phone, and she was like, you're just acting different, Oh,
so other people close to you realized that Lisa wasn't Lisa, like we knew Lisa.
Yep, like you're just acting differently. And my coworkers, we worked closely together. I remember one day, my boss told me just to go home, that, I needed to get some rest.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sleeping very well.
Yeah. So how long do you suppose this went on before? Did you seek help other ways, or how long did this go on?
No. I mean, this went on for almost a month. Close to a month, probably. And I didn't tell anyone about it until I told my best friend, Joyce, at the time. And she, at first, was like, what are you talking about? Like, thought I was just... But she knew I was struggling. She knew something was going on. And she was very religious. Very religious. And that's... I don't know why I kind of felt like...
Catholic, Christian, what was her...
Christian, I believe Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she really listened to me, and she told me, I think I know what you need to do. Because I was like, tell me, and I'll do anything. I was willing to do anything.
So you almost felt a little bit desperate at that point.
I was desperate.
To shed this, whatever it was.
I was desperate. I forgot. I did tell my son's dad at one point, and he was just like, didn't want to hear it, said I was crazy,
Yeah.
And it kind of shut me down. I was like, you're probably right. He's like, you're probably just not sleeping, and so you're seeing things.
Delusional.
And that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought that, but absolutely not. It was getting so bad. And anyways, my best friend told me to go see her pastor.
Oh, her preacher or whatever.
I think she said her pastor.
Yeah.
And her pastor's wife as well.
Okay.
So I took my son and we went to go see him. And I am not religious at all. But at this point, I was willing to do anything. Even what they were about to tell me to do. So I went to the pastor and the wife, and it was so relieving because I was telling them the things that were happening to me, and they genuinely believed me and said they have dealt with this before.
Wow.
There.
Wow.
In the part of Japan that we were in, my kind of circle, if you may. Yeah. So.
Wow. So what do they do?
They said that I needed to basically give myself to God, which I didn't know really what that meant, but I was like, okay, sure, right? Like, I will do that.
You want out of this mess, absolutely.
Right? I'll do anything you want me to, because I don't know if I should talk about it. I wasn't really a believer. Yeah. And they gave me this piece of paper and this prayer. Well, first they did a prayer together, and they were putting this like oil water on my forehead. I can't remember if they did it but they definitely put it, I remember it dripping on my face, and I'm like, oh gosh. Did it to my son. Because I was worried he was affected.
Yeah.
Because I thought, this thing's in my house. It's, he's here. I was scared. So, they did this long prayer, put the oil and water on my head, and did some kind of whatever, and they had some kind of beads or something.
Okay. Were they reading anything while they were doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It almost felt like an exorcism at some level.
But that didn't happen. It wasn't immediate where, something comes out of you. And, because honestly, there were times during the day where I felt like kind of myself.
Yeah.
And then it would change almost immediately at night. Almost immediately. I mean, bits and pieces, things were wrong during the day.
That thing was nocturnal, huh?
But, yeah. But, because I remember getting groceries coming home and still hearing stuff, and this was during the day. So, but anyways, they said this long prayer. I said, thank you. They gave me this piece of paper that had a prayer or something on it that I had to say every time it showed itself.
Okay. Wow.
Or I heard something. And
so you started doing that nightly then?
Every time it happened. I was doing it.
I see. So, okay.
10, 20 times a day.
Holy smokes.
Yep. I was reading this thing. I'd go in my car, I was like, let me do this as much as I can,
Yeah. You were after that demon, huh?
I was.
Expunging it.
But it was almost immediate. I went home that night. Things started to happen. And I remember being on my knees in my hallway, just crying and screaming this off my paper. Because they told me to say it with intent. I really needed to be...
You need to believe it.
Feeling it and believing it. And that's what I did. And it literally worked. It literally worked.
How long, Lisa, did you do that before you didn't need that paper anymore? How long?
It was 2 days, maybe 3 days. It was just gone.
It cleared up.
It was gone. And I kept that paper with me for the longest time.
You still have it?
Until I moved. No.
Yeah.
I feel like I wanted to just get rid of everything that had to do with it.
Yep. Turn that page once and for all.
Everything. I mean, when I moved back to the States, I didn't take anything from my apartment with me.
Yeah. Wow. Clothes or anything?
I was done. I just felt like
everything was compromised at that point, in your opinion.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a fascinating story. So, how is it when you look back today? And that was obviously cool. A few years ago. Who's counting? Yeah. But how has it affected you today?
I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I definitely believe that there is like a higher power of some sort that helped me through that. To this day, I'm not really sure what to call it or what it is, right? But it made me believe that there is really evil out there. There is really, I don't know how to say it, demonic. This is real, and saying that, I'm like, ugh, I hate to even hear it because I'm not one of those, you know?
So it's safe to say that you would have a different opinion if somebody you knew said, I feel like I'm possessed, like there's something actually inside me that's doing really bad things. You would understand that point of view to 100%.
I would.
And you wouldn't think it's a joke or anything else. It's a real deal, potentially.
And it is the real deal. And I hate to say it, but it is. And I feel like it happened to me at kind of a weak time. And the pastor told me that that's when they kind of, it will try to take over you, is when you are kind of weaker.
That's actually a common thing in movies too. You see at a more vulnerable time, somebody getting possessed in a film. You know,
it's like it wants you to be isolated and
just more vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I suffered for a long time, even though it wasn't even maybe a month. It was. I mean, imagine.
Yeah.
Every day.
And to you folks out there, you know, I've known Lisa for what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
5 years probably. You know, she's a very down to earth person, and for sure, she's not one to make something like this up. Trust me, she's a very real world person, and I've, you know, it's a fascinating story, Lisa, and you know, you just don't hear this all the time, and you know, Lisa doesn't go to scary movies anymore.
Nope. Nope, I don't. And I used to love scary movies.
We gotta fix that, Lisa.
Nope. I used to love scary movies, and now it's like, it's weird. Ever since that happened, I don't want to trigger anything. Sometimes even, it took me years. Noel was the first person that I told after coming back about it. Because it's crazy. It sounds crazy. It sounds insane. But I knew kind of, you know, what you were into and things like that, and I felt, you know, I trust you, so I let him know, and he was like, whoa. Because, like he said, I am not the type of person to make something up like this.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so, and even talking about it today, I'm kind of like, ugh, because I don't want to trigger anything.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Horror by the Book, Noel Wing, certainly appreciates you coming in today. That was a fascinating story, Lisa. And do you have anything else to add that we should know regarding this incident?
Just if things like this are happening to you, you don't have to do exactly what I did, but you don't have to suffer like that. Yeah. You know, let someone know that you trust.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to reach out, right?
Don't be afraid, because people may say you're crazy or this, that. That's why you got to find someone that you just, you know, trust and know will help. You know, and try what I did, because it worked. So. Okay.
Well, that's this edition of Horror by the Book with Noel Wing, with special rock star Lisa. We're out. Till next time, we'll talk about Dean Koontz and some of his works. Thanks for watching. Horror by the Book, Noel Wing. I'm out.